Hello everybody, today I have my Christmas tree up and a few Christmas decorations and it is all festive, finally. So today I have got another instalment to my series of reading my New Zealand diary. So I'm going to be reading through another section of this diary of when I went to New Zealand. If you haven't seen the other two parts to this series, then please go and watch them. I will link both of them down below and also the playlist as well. So go and click on the playlist above, whichever side it may be. You may also notice that I have a different hair colour. I just fancied a change for the winter months, so decided to go a little bit of a darker colour. And I've also done my nails. I did them myself, cut them down, and yeah, staying on. That's good. I'd just like to remind you that I am doing Vlogmas this year, so please go and check out my vlog channel. I have been filming a lot on that and there is quite a few festive things that I've been doing recently, so go over there, subscribe and watch my Vlogmas up until the 25th or 26th of December. So I believe that the section that I got up to in this book was the bit where I talk about what it's like on a plane and then the first day getting off, and then now I'm going to read what happened the next day. So the next day, today we got up and ate breakfast. Then we went back to the van and got ready because me, my cousin and my uncle, we were staying at our family's farm, but we actually slept inside of a van which had beds and things like that in it, just because it's easier for them and easier for us just to stay in there. Later on, Shane took us over to the other area of his farm where some wood is, but we decided to go back. So me and Ella walked back, Uncle Shane stayed behind. When we got back, we had some lunch and shortly Uncle Shane and Bill joined us. Then we had some tea and biscuits and went to go around the cows ready to be milked. So basically we had tea and biscuits during the afternoon, and that's not something that I usually do over here. Like, I don't usually dedicate part of my afternoon to just drinking tea and eating biscuits. So we quite liked that. So we then went over to the cows because they were ready to be milked, and we actually rounded the cows up, and that was so much fun. Like, the herding cows is the most fun I've ever had in my life. Like, it was amazing. There were 80 cows in total, approximately, and we went around on a quad bike and they all seemed to know what they were doing. So basically we'd get on the quad bike, go around the field, try and get all of these cows herded up. And I thought, do you know what, I'm on a quad bike, I'm going around the field, how the hell am I going to get these cows herded up? But they actually knew exactly what they were doing and they'd just line up straight away and start walking to where they needed to be. So they knew what they were doing. Before we got them rounded up, we wasn't sure which cows to bring back, so we wasn't sure which cows needed herding in which field, so we didn't want to bring back the wrong ones. Once they had slowly walked around, Bill milked them, which takes ages, so it took him a very long time to milk these cows because obviously there was 80 of them, and we had to go back to the field to wind something up. Oh, me and Ella, we had to, it says here, I made a little side note. Oh, things fall out. It said whilst winding it up it all got tangled and it took Bill 2 hours to fix it. We had to wind up like this bit of string or something, and me and Ella, I don't know how we managed it. Oh yeah, sorry if you can hear the Hoover. I don't know how we managed it, but we got it so tangled that it took Bill 2 hours to sort it out and to get it fixed. Yes. I made a little side note there so I could remind myself, but you know, I'll never forget. Then we went round to a field and me and Ella practiced running around on the quad bike. So we just went to a field and we practiced on the quad bike and it was actually really fun. We got the hang of all of the gears and everything. It was amazing. We came back and had some tea / dinner. Then Bill took us up a track he had made. A track he had made. It's like he's made a mountain or something. Like, it would have been a track that he's like dug through. And it was really steep. I can remember this track being incredibly steep. I feel like we got out the car. I'm not sure. The gate was shut, so we couldn't drive up there, so we walked, and even then it was hard. When we came back we went to bed. So basically we walked up this hill. It was so steep. We were planning on driving up there, but personally I think if we drove up there we would have just tipped back again, but we walked up there, and then when we came back we went to sleep back in the van. So the next day, today in the morning we had breakfast, then we just chatted out the balcony and out the balcony outside about what we're going to do the next 2 weeks. So I feel like we just sat on the balcony chatting about, oh, I can remember this now, it's all coming back to me. We chatted outside talking about what we were going to do on the next few weeks, what we've got planned, looking at brochures and things like that. It's literally, this is all coming back to me. I haven't read this in like 2 years. Then me and Ella went and got ready. After that we went and moved some wood / logs. We are on a farm, so we did do little tasks like that. And when we got back we had lunch, and then Bill took us to his steep hill he had made again. So we went back to that original hill. Oh, my mum's phone just went. We had a wander around, and God, that's steep. Okay, basically I wrote, we had a wander around, God, that's steep. Okay. I spelled even wrong. I put E-V-A-N. We even had to drive through a river. So we had to go through a river. Then we had to walk through a river to get to the other side. But when we came back, we climbed over a tree. So, I remember this. We walked over a river, and then when we came back, we climbed over a tree. I remember standing one side of the river and having to get across, and my uncle gave me his like welly boot things. So I walked through the river. It was only like that deep kind of, and then I was on the other side, and he said, oh Georgie, give my boots a good throw back to him so that he could come through. I threw them and they literally went straight through the water, gathered all of the water, so literally there was no point in him like putting them on because they were soaking wet, full of water, and basically I have a really awful throw. After that we came back and had some tea and biscuits, again the tea and biscuits again. Later on, after the cup of tea and biscuits, we herded up the cows again. Again, this was a daily thing that Bill obviously had to do. We didn't stay on the farm for the whole time, just a few days. It was really fun, but I peed myself. That's not surprising, knowing me, because Uncle Shane went really fast, like 60 miles an hour. But remember, he's on a small quad bike. I'm not really entirely sure what miles an hour he was going on the quad bike. It probably wasn't 60, but it felt really fast, and I obviously wet myself because I was laughing, I don't know. When we got back, we had to go to check a leak, where it was coming from. So there was a leak coming from somewhere on the farm, on an area, so we went and checked that to make sure where it was coming from, and that was where the cows were drinking in their trough. Then we came back and did some... Can they stop? Do they realise that there's a genius at work filming? Then we came back and did some reading. Once Bill had fully milked the cows, we saw them wander past, so they suddenly wandered past the window and we knew they'd been milked. Later on we had tea / dinner, and then we went to bed. The next day, me and Ella woke up at about 6:45 and we couldn't seem to find Uncle Shane anywhere, so we just sat back and read a magazine. So we couldn't find him, we didn't know where it was, so we just thought, let's just chill, not even worried, just read a magazine. About 7:30 to 8, Bill and Uncle Shane arrived because they had started milking the cows at 5 AM. So obviously they got up really early. Shane had gone with Bill to milk the cows without telling us. Oh my God, did you see how bright that just went? Yeah, if I cover my face, it like focuses on everything else and makes, because I've obviously adjusted the settings to my face. Anyway, not interested. We then had breakfast and we was chatting to each other about Boris the pig. Basically, there's this pig. Bill has a friend, and he had a pig called Boris, and it chased me and Ella, and it was quite frightening because, to be fair, pigs are quite scary, and you know, they can be quite aggressive. So we was chatting about that. I've just written a little note, and it says, basically, Boris is a pig that Bill's friend owns, and it escaped and chased me and Ella. And Bill said that was the first time he saw us run. He's really funny because he keeps insulting us. Yeah, that's very funny. Yeah, he was insulting me and Ella in sort of a joking way. But yeah, it was quite funny. Me and Ella thinks he looks like the guy off Crocodile Dundee. So he reminded us of that guy off Crocodile Dundee. I don't know if you've ever watched that. But he took offence to that because obviously that guy is Australian and Bill is like a New Zealand accented person. I don't know. But yeah, later on we had some tea and coffee and biscuits again, and we said our goodbyes because we're leaving, and then we went and we stopped off at a supermarket to buy some food and drink, etc. So this is when we left the farm. We'd been there for a few days, we'd just got off the plane, we went to the farm, left, and now we're going on our travels around New Zealand. So we stopped off at a supermarket to buy some food and drink, then we went back to the van with our stuff. 2 hours later we stopped to have a pee on the side of the road, so we just sort of like had a pee. Not necessarily on the road, but like in a bush. Then about another 1.5 hours later, we arrived at a campsite, so we stopped off at a campsite. Then I said that we had left Doug, Jean and Bill's house. I didn't mention that we was actually going back at the end of the holiday. So when we left, I didn't mention in my diary that we were actually going back at the end of the holiday, and we was. I've made a little note at the bottom and it says on the campsite. It's quite a good campsite because it has showers, etc. Trampoline. I can't remember it having a trampoline. Benches, and we're right on the edge of a live volcano, so it's pretty scary. I think the live volcano is a live volcano, but it won't erupt anytime soon. And later on we went to bed. We had dinner before and we cooked beef, mashed potatoes and carrots. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to talk about everything else another time. Thank you for watching. Please give it a thumbs up and I hope you're enjoying this series. See you for some very soon.